Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Thursday, so we're going to be taking a look at the single game showdown slate for the Thursday night football matchup between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Philadelphia Eagles. So, in this video, I'll be breaking things down, going through my player pool, some of my favorite core captain picks, and then building a lineup on both Draftkings and Fanduel. So, hopefully you guys find this video very informative, and we're going to get started with the player pool. So on the DraftKings side, both quarterbacks are definitely in play. Tom Brady at $12,400. Obviously, we know what he's done this year outside of that New England game. Expect him to be very, very popular tonight, though. So if you're playing in GPPs, maybe somebody you try to fade and get a little bit different. If not, if you're playing in cash, if you're playing in GPP, you can still play him. No problems there. Jalen Hurts, $11,800. Think he's a great play as well tonight. Obviously, he has that solid rushing floor, and then he has upside for more, especially going against a Tampa Bay defense that is very, very banged up in this matchup overall. Mike Evans, $10,200, the most expensive wide receiver on this slate. But, he definitely comes with his upside, touchdown prowess that he does have, and he has a pretty good connection with Tom Brady overall. Chris Godwin, $9,400, was a little bit banged up earlier in the week, so maybe a few people are going to be off of him. Maybe you're looking at a little bit of a pivot play here with Chris Godwin, so he's definitely in play as well. Then Devonta Smith, $8,800. Little bit of a steep price tag for him, but I don't hate it by any means. If you're playing Jalen Hurts, you're probably going to play Devonta Smith in the same line. No problems there. Antonio Brown at $8,200. Probably out of the big four wide receivers, probably the best value there overall. He could definitely pay off for his price tag. Then we get down to Leonard Fournette, $7,800. Could be a very good matchup for him. The Eagles have not fared very well against the run so far this season, so there's definitely a chance that Leonard Fournette could go off in this one, but if he's not getting the touchdowns, he's probably not going to help your team overall. If you play him in the captain spot, there's a little bit of risk there, but not too worried about it. I still think he could have a very solid game overall. Quez Watkins, I got down at $4,600. I did leave Jalen Reagor off. Quez Watkins did outsnap him last week, running pretty similar amount of routes, but Quez Watkins, more of the big play guy, more the guy that's making these plays when they need to be made. So he's definitely in play for me as well. We got Tampa defense on here. I think they should be in the player pool just in case there's a lot of turnovers on the Eagles side, but it's not something I'm really expecting. So it's not something I'm trying to really squeeze in my lineups, but if you're building 20, if you're building 150 max, probably 5% maybe of them get in there. Then Zach Ertz, $3,200, probably the best value on this slate overall. Dallas Goedert looks like he's not going to play due to being on the COVID list, and he's negative tests in back-to-back days. I did not hear anything about yesterday, so we'll see if anything comes out about that, but unlikely to play at this point in time. Kenneth Gainwell, if you're on that train, $2,400, pretty good value there as well. Doesn't need to do too much if he's that pass-catching back. If they get behind in this game, Kenneth Gainwell should be in play. And he really should produce for that price tag. He may be a little bit chalky, especially if everybody assumes Tampa Bay is just going to be out in front. But at this point in time, definitely somebody to consider as well. Then we get down to the cheaper guys. We got O.J. Howard at $1,400. Him and Cameron Brate kind of been splitting things, so we'll see who ends up on top this one. $1,400 is nothing to sneeze at, though, if you're looking to save some money. Then Tyler Johnson at $1,000. I'm not sure if this was just last week or Chris Godwin being a little bit banged up, but he played about 50% of the snaps, so there is some opportunity there for $1,000. Greg Ward at $800, always liable to catch a touchdown. Doesn't always happen, but he's worth mentioning at this point in time. Then last but not least, we got Jack Stoll, $200. Dallas Goedert does not play in this game. He is the backup tight end, and a $200 flat minimum price tag is something that you really don't want to ignore. Even if he gets a couple catches, he'll be worth his price tag. As far as core captain picks, I do like Zach Ertz in this one just because he's so cheap. He gives you a lot of money to spend elsewhere. Larry Fournette, like I mentioned before, if he has that big day, he could definitely pay off. Devonta Smith's definitely up there. You can talk about any one of the Tampa Bay wide receivers. And then I do have Jalen Hurts up there too because typically you don't want to play the quarterback up there. I don't think a lot of people are going to play him in the captain spot. We'll see. But if you're fading Tom Brady, I think it's definitely something that you could do overall. Then on the FanDuel side, we got Tom Brady, $16,500. Pretty hefty price tag, but he's probably worth it more times than not. Jalen Hurts, $15,500. A little bit cheaper than Tom Brady. Still a little expensive, honestly, but he could definitely pay off for that price tag as well. Then we look at the wide receiver group. We got Mike Evans, $13,500. That is a big price tag, but if he gets the touchdowns, he's definitely worth it as well. Chris Godwin, $13,000. That's probably the price where I'm trying to look to get to Antonio Brown just a little bit more, save that $1,500. But there is a chance that Chris Godwin pays off as well. If you want to go down from Mike Evans to Chris Godwin, you can definitely do that as well. Devonta Smith, $12,000, probably a fair price at this point in time. And if you're playing Jalen Hurts, I would be playing Devonta Smith on the Fanduel side as well. Leonard Fournette, $11,000, probably similar to the price on DraftKings when you look at the correlation between the two sites. So don't have a problem with him there. Kenny Gainwell, $8,500, a little bit more pricey, but there's definitely the route for him to pay off overall. Then we got Gio Bernard for $7,000. Did not mention him on the DraftKings side. He's $5,200 over there. I think it's a little too much on the DraftKings side. But on the FanDuel side, if you're looking to save a little bit of money, Gio Bernard's definitely in play. He just didn't play that much last week in general. Leonard Fournette's still getting some pass catching work, so more of a true third down back than anything. Then we have Quez Watkins at $7,000. I actually do like him quite a bit. And now looking back at this, I'm actually thinking about my fantasy football immunity slate, and maybe I'll end up playing him there. We'll just have to see, but looking like a pretty solid play for $7,000. Zach Ertz, $6,500. Essentially the best value on this slate on both sites. It's dirt cheap there. If you want to save some money, if you want a good play that's probably going to pay off, Zach Ertz is the guy tonight. Then we got Tyler Johnson and Greg Ward, both at $6,000. Don't need to say much more about them that I already didn't say on the DraftKings side. Then as far as core captain plays, definitely both quarterbacks are up there. Mike Evans, Antonio Brown. You could throw Chris Godwin in there as well. You could throw Devonta Smith if you really want to as well. Zach Ertz and Leonard Fournette as well. So there's quite a few captain options out there today. Be creative with your lineups, as I always say, because you never know what's going to hit. I think if you're playing on the FanDuel side, I would probably try to shy away from the quarterbacks in the captain spot a little bit, especially in GPPs, just to leverage your lineup just a little bit more. But with that being said, we'll get over to DraftKings and build a lineup real quick. So I'm going to start off with Zach Ertz in the captain spot. Since we are playing Zach Ertz, we're going to play Jalen Hurts as well. Typically, what I preach in these single game slates is 4-2 stacks or 5-1 stacks. So we could go a 4-2 with more Eagles, or we could go a 4-2 with some Tampa Bay Buccaneers as well. So we could try it with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We can go Tom Brady. We want to go with one of these wide receivers. We're going to go Chris Godwin in this case, just to make our lineup a little bit more unique. We could go with like a Leonard Fournette here. And then if you really, really want to, you could play Tampa Bay defense here. They do fit. Probably not looking at them. You could go with a Kenny Gainwell. Or we could take Leonard Fournette off here, pay down at a little bit other different position. So if we pay down for O.J. Howard, then we could get a Mike Evans here too. This is one line that you could do. You could do a Zach Ertz and a Jalen Hurts stack. And then you have Tom Brady stack with a Chris Godwin, O.J. Howard, and Mike Evans. That's definitely something you could do. You could make O.J. Howard, Tyler Johnson as well. You could make Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown. You could play any two of those three wide receivers together. So that looks like a pretty solid slate. We're going to take the Tampa Bay side off there, and we're going to make the 4-2 stack in favor of the Eagles this time. So we're going to put Devonta Smith in as well. And then we're going to say that Kenny Gainwell gets the passing down work that they're trailing in this game. So if they're trailing in this game, Tom Brady's probably having a good game. You could play one of the wide receivers, Chris Godwin or Antonio Brown. You could play Leonard Fournette as well. But if they're winning, maybe Leonard Fournette gets a couple extra carries, maybe got a touchdown or so. You could definitely do something like that. It's not the worst lineup in the world. You could even mess around with your captain spot just a little bit more, just because there is that extra $2,000 there. So we could move it around a little bit. Not sure if Devonta Smith will fit up there, though. So Smith just barely misses at $800. So that means we could put Leonard Fournette in the captain spot. So we'll put Devonta Smith and Zach Ertz in the flex spot real quick. So actually, Leonard Fournette doesn't fit either, so we're off by $300. But you guys kind of get the picture there. That is one direction that I'm leaning on the DraftKings side. You can play around with a lot of different options in that captain spot. There are a lot of viable players in this game overall. But with that being said, let's get over to the FanDuel side and mess around a little bit over there. So like I mentioned before, in the MVP spot, you can play one of the quarterbacks. You can play both these quarterbacks if you really want to. Let's see what we do. What happens if we play both quarterbacks? We play Devonta Smith. Let's say we play Zach Ertz just because he's so cheap on this slate. So we have $95 to $100 left over. So you're looking at the kicker range of players. Dallas Goedert's there, but he's obviously not playing. You could play a Kenny Gainwell as well. So you could look at a line like this where you play Tom Brady, you play Jalen Hurts, and 3 of his pass catchers essentially. So if I was doing this lineup, though, I'd probably put Jalen Hurts in my captain spot, or you could put one of these pass catchers in the captain spot as well. We'll clear that one out real quick. We could do a Tampa Bay side stack real quick as well. So I think we're going to get a little bit different. Play Leonard Fournette in the captain spot. We are going to play Tom Brady still. We're going to play Mike Evans. Actually, we're not going to play Mike Evans. I think I played Mike Evans in the last one. So we're going to go down to Antonio Brown just because he's the cheapest of the 3. If you play Jalen Hurts, then you need a flat minimum, guys, so that's probably not going to be the case. We could do a Mike Evans here, and then we could go down to a Zach Ertz or a Quez Watkins. We're just going to do Quez Watkins this time, though, because we already played Zach Ertz in the other one. So you could do a line like this where you got Leonard Fournette, Tom Brady, Antonio Brown, Mike Evans, and Quez Watkins. That is a line that definitely could pay off as well. A lot of different options on this slate, so as I always say, get in there, be creative, whether you're using an optimizer, whether you're hand building, figure out the story you want to tell, and then build your lineup around that storyline. If you guys have any questions at all regarding this slate, just let me know down in the comments. And let me know who your favorite captain pick is for this slate on both Fanduel and Draftkings. Very interested to see what you guys have to say. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports. And that's one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your fantasy football teams, helping you with DFS, whether it's NFL or NBA, talking all the different football news. Getting excited for the Saturday starts and sits video because I'll have a lot of that in there. Also, check out the Point After podcast tomorrow evening at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. We'll be covering all the injuries in play, or all the major injuries in play for fantasy purposes, at least. And that ends up taking about 20 minutes of our time, usually in the beginning of the show. So if you just tune in for that first half hour, you'll definitely catch that as well. Otherwise, you can always catch it on replay on the TNF network, which is linked in the description below. And with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Tomorrow's Friday, so it will be the Dollar Store Stacks video. So that's the video where we go over some value stacks for the DFS main slate that allow you to pay up for premium players at other positions. Definitely a fun video. Definitely one that I do enjoy every single week. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. Definitely do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.